Hi, my name's John Ellul and I'd like to speak to you about the Poisons Act and the problems concerning the Poisons Act. My concerns are that we have such an old piece of legislation that's been put in place that's supposed to protect us and protect our children and protect anybody that comes into this country and this nation. Unfortunately, the Poisons Act, to me, needs to be updated urgently, and that's supposed to be implemented by the Governor-General, who doesn't seem to be dealing with any issues, including unless it's to the benefit of the government, not the people. Now, unfortunately, again with the Poisons Act, we have different sections, and it's so complex that the general public can't understand it. So it needs to be brought down to the basic understanding of the everyday people, and it needs to have something in it that is going to be able to protect Australians and protect us, and that means it has to be policed. That does not happen. There's supposed to be also different divisions of government that are supposed to do that. Well, again, it does not happen. Now, what the problem is with the Poisons Act is that there's different sections of the Poisons Act which include Schedule 9 poisons, and that's to do with drugs and prescription drugs and drugs that are actual poisons that are allowed to come into our country and our nation, and that all come under the guidance of the Therapeutic Goods Association. Now, I've had first-hand experience with the Therapeutic Goods Association in relation to their non-active approach. Now, what they do is they make a recommendation that a particular drug is to be used in a certain manner. Now, when that recommendation isn't followed by chemists or by doctors or by drug companies, then there is nothing that actually anybody does about it. The police don't do anything about it. The prosecutors don't do anything about it. There's no policing agency to actually go out and do anything about it. And if there is, well, they're not going to do it because it involves a lot of money and it involves a lot of political hoo-ha. And they certainly don't want that because they don't want to upset the drug companies. That, to me, is a crime, especially when a particular type of drug such as Stilnox, and there's such a high recommendation for people, procedures to be followed, a guidance in relation to that particular drug and what that drug does, long-term exposure of that particular drug, shut down organs, shut down kidneys, supposed to be strictly monitored and guidelines. That's why they reduced the size of the package. They reduced it from an open package to 14 tablets, and they set, in February 2008, they set down strict guidelines and procedures in relation to people's usage of that particular product. Yet I had first-hand experience in watching the availability of chemists and doctors handing out 4 boxes of that particular drug at one time, all wrapped together. Now, that was a crime that resulted in a death. To me, that should have been dealt with early in the piece, because they put a statute of limitations in relation to when that particular product, when you can take any form of legal action, and that statute of limitations is 3 years, and then civil action has to be taken anyway prior to that. So people generally can't afford to take civil action in relation to a result of a death or negligence. So again, we have a major issue concerning a lot of people that falls under the Poisons Act that needs to be brought up to speed. Now, that's not happening. Again, we need our politicians and general members of the public being aware of what it is that I'm talking about right now. That's part of the reason that I'm doing this video. Get out there, get onto this. We've got to put the flag in the ground. We've got to say enough's enough. You've got to say enough's enough. Not just me telling you. We've got to do something about it. We've got to be proactive in relation to these issues. They're your kids, they're your children. This is our country, this is our nation, not theirs. You know, I mean, we put them in power, yet they don't deal with these issues. We have to start dealing with these issues, because if we don't start dealing with them now, the long-term adverse effect that it's going to have on the future of this country is going to be horrendous. So come on, Aussies, You do it. It's up to you. It's up to us to make a difference. We can make a difference. Good on you. My name's Jeff Value. See you on the next video.